All right, so let's do section 7.2. All right, so for C over 9 equals 5, C to 9 equals 5 to D, complete the equivalent proportion. So it's telling you what happened here so that this is now the result. Well, we learned that there's 3 ways to express a proportion equivalently. We know that you have the reciprocal, that you're gonna reciprocate, you're gonna find the reciprocal of this and this one. The other one is to switch the means. Remember, these are the extremes and these are the means. So we switch the means. The other way is to add the denominator to the numerator. And that's exactly what we did here. We added this 9 up to the numerator. So the equivalent version of this guy would be 5 plus D over D. That's it. Okay. So here in the diagram to the right, A to B is equal to 4 to 5. So what happened, we don't really need to look at this, to be honest. We just need to look at what happened here. How did we get from here, how did we get B over A? Well, this first term, this first fraction of the proportion is A over B. So what did we do to A over B to get B over A? We just found the reciprocal, right? Reciprocal. So my answer would be the reciprocal of this one. So it's 5 over 4. That's it. Okay, so what happened here? Okay, well, okay, so this one's a little bit more tricky. So in the diagram to the right, y to b is equal to 6 to 7. So what happened here that we ended up getting this guy? Well, we didn't switch the means, because if we did, then it'd be b over 7. We didn't reciprocate it, because then instead of 6 over 7, it'd be 7 over 6. So we had to have added the denominator to the numerator. So we did plus 7, which makes sense because what's 6 plus 7? 13. So now this one, the first term, would be y plus b over b. And that's it. Okay. Now, on average, it takes a particular gem cutter 97 minutes to map the cutting of 6 gems. 6 gems, okay? Find out how long it takes her to map the cutting of 30 gems. Okay, so 97 minutes, how long do we want to see how long it takes? So 97 minutes to X minutes. If it took 6 gems, 97 minutes, how many minutes will it take 30 gems? So since there's an equal sign, we have to cross multiply. We're going to cross multiply our means and our extremes. So I'm going to use my calculator here. What is 97 times 30? That is 2910 equals 6x. Divide by 6. And it equals 485. So to make 30 gems, it would take 485 minutes. And that's it. Okay. What about this one? Okay. So University Law School accepts 4 out of every 11 applicants. So instead of just writing 4 over 11, it's better, and you should, write some sort of unit. We don't have minutes or gallons or hours or pizzas or whatever, anything, but we do have something. We have to write something. University Law School accepts 4 out of every 11 applicants. Okay, so here for sure we can write applicants. I'm just gonna put for applicants. What can we write up here? What is this for? What happened, like what is the for? University law accepts 4 out of every whatever. So let's put acceptances. I'm gonna just put ACC for acceptances. If the school accepted 320 students, so do I put the 320 on the top or on the bottom? I'm gonna put it on the top because accepted to accepted. Remember guys, this is the way that I like to do it. I like to go from one equals the next one. I like to go horizontal. I will show you how to do it the other way right now. So 320 accepted out of how many applicants? Okay, so now we're going to cross multiply our means, our extremes and our means. So 4x equals, okay, let's do 320 times 11, 3, 5, 2, 0, divide by 4, divide by 4. So there were 880 applicants. Now, the same way we can express this, I'll do it in blue. If you guys really wanted to, you could do 4 acceptances is equal to 11 applicants. And instead of the 320 being on the top, we're going to put it on the bottom here. Acceptances to X applicants. And we just do the same thing. If we cross multiply, we'll get 4x is equal to 352, and then divide by 4 and we'll get the same answer. The only thing we did, what's the difference from this guy and this one, is that we switched the means. Okay, and we know that when we switch the means, our proportion stays the same. What about this one, okay? And on an architecture's blueprint, 1 inch corresponds to 4 feet. So 1 inch corresponds to 4 feet. Find the length of the wall represented by a line 2 1/4 inches long on the blueprint. I'm going to put 2.25 inches to how many feet? Well, 1 times x is just x, and 4 times 4 times 2.25 is equal to 9. So that's it. That's your answer. Okay? So let's look at this one. Okay. So a recipe calls for 2 cups of flour and 1/3 cup milk to make 7 servings. Okay. So it takes 2 cups and 1/3 cup of milk to make 7 servings. Okay, that's gonna be probably important. Ming has plenty of flour, so flour is not an issue. So if flour is not an issue, I don't need to worry about it. But only 6 cups of milk. So that's why I kind of waited, because the reason I waited to write, you guys know how I usually, like, once I see this and this, I usually start like writing like, okay, 2 cups per 1.33 cups of whatever milk and then flour. The reason I didn't write that to begin with is because I kept reading and I saw 7. So I know that there's 3 factors here that I need to take into account. That's why I kind of hesitated and I kept reading. So now I know that flour is not going to be an issue at all. So I can ignore that. But I do know I only have 6 cups of milk. So how many servings can I make with only 6 cups of milk? So I know that 1 1/3. So since they want me to write it as a fraction or a mixed number or an integer, if it's going to be a whole number, I'm actually going to choose to write this as a whole number, which we know how to do that with as an improper fraction. What's 3 times 1? 3 plus 1, so 4/3. Let's just put milk over 7 servings. So if I have 6 cups of milk, how many servings could I make? How many servings? So let's find that out. So I'm going to cross multiply. So 4 over 3, oops, 4 over 3x equals 7 times 6 is what? 42, right? 42. Now I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal. Multiply by 3 times 4. Okay, so what is, whoops. 42 times 3 divided by 4. Okay, so I'm going to get 31.5. So that's going to be, okay, I'm just going to write it as an improper fraction. So I'm going to simplify. What is the greatest compactor between 4 and 32 is 2. So I'm going to divide this by 2, divide this by 2 to simplify. So my x is going to equal 21 times 3 over 2. So my x is going to be 3 times 21 is 63 divided by 2, which is also the same as 31.5. It doesn't really matter how you do it, okay? So there we go. I can make 31 and a half servings with only 6 cups of milk, okay? So let's take a look at this next one. Medication is prescribed in 6 out of every 10 hospital emergency rooms, okay? So 6 meds, I guess, for 10 hospitals. That's just, it doesn't really matter what the units are as long as you write something so you can compare when you write your next fraction. Medication is prescribed in 6 out of every 10 hospital emergency rooms. If a large urban hospital has 840 emergency rooms, well, I guess I should write rooms instead. Rooms. 40 rooms. How many of these visits would you expect included prescription for medication? Okay, so X meds. So once again, guys, we're just going to cross multiply. 6 times 840, 5040 equals 10x. And divide by 10, divide by 10, x equals 504. Okay, and that's it. Okay, oh, wait, whoops. Right here. Okay, last one. The gas/oil ratio for a certain chainsaw is, okay, 25 to 1, whoops. 25 to 1, so 25 gas per 1 oil. Okay, how much oil should be mixed with 10 gallons of gas? Okay, 10 gallons. So X oil, that's what we want to find. Oil, okay. So let's cross multiply. So 25x equals 10. Wait a minute. I think I did something wrong here. Did I? No. No, I didn't. Okay, sorry, yeah, my bad. I way overthought that, okay? 25x over 10 divided by 25, divided by 25. So when you divide this in a calculator, you're gonna have x equals 0.4, which is why we have this right here. 0.4 gallons of oil is gonna be mixed in with 10 gallons of gas, okay? Now, B, if 1 gallon equals, this x is gallons of oil, okay? Gallons of oil. If 1 gallon equals 125 fluid ounces, write the answer to part A in fluid ounces. Okay, so they pretty much just want us to do, they want us to convert 0.4 gallons of oil into fluid ounces of oil. And they're telling us how many 1 gallon is worth. 1 gallon is worth 128 fluid ounces. So let's write it up here. So 0.4 gallons. And you always want to make sure that your units are across from each other, like that, so that they cancel out when they multiply. If anybody has any questions on that, ask me in class and I'll go over that, but you guys should have learned that already. So if not, no worries, just remind me and I'll go over it in class. Fluid ounces, okay? So now you just multiply straight across, and when you multiply, these two are going to cancel because one's on the numerator and one's on the denominator, and you're only going to be left with this unit, which is the unit that you wanted, fluid ounces. So 0.4 times 128 is equal to 51.2. Is that what we ended up getting? Yeah. Oh, it asks you to round to the nearest whole number. There you go. So 51. Okay. Always make sure that you read like what the question is actually asking you. Oh, and also said approximately. So that's your key.